Grand Rising, Mi5, my people, my family, my tribe. Happy Tuesday, everybody. I hope everyone is starting off their week fabulously. We are joining, here tonight for the Mi5 show with special guest, Mrs. Theresa. For those who have known Mi5, know that Theresa has been an integral part of, the journey, original mastermind member. So we're really excited to kind of highlight and showcase her journey this evening. I want everyone to know that, the purpose of the Mi5 show on a weekly basis is to create engagement within our community and, vision within our community to actually see individuals and highlighting those individuals' stories and highlighting those individuals' journeys and highlighting those individuals' amazing contributions to this universe, and seeing how easy it is to really make a beautiful change in this universe, as everybody that is on the Mi5 show is somebody that provides extraordinary value, and Theresa definitely does not let that reputation down by any means. So I'm going to bring her up here. I'm going to move me over to the left side. I'm going to act like we're in a podcast studio, and I'm going to say, hello, good evening. How are you, Theresa?
Grand Rising. How are you doing?
Amazing. And, Theresa, I think that, like I said, everybody that's been a part of Mi5 knows that you've been here since day one. The first day that, Mi5 started to pull together that first mastermind meeting, you were sitting there, and we met in Las Vegas only a couple weeks prior to that, just to kind of energetically connect in the flesh, and then seal the deal when we got back and brought a bunch of people into this amazing circle. So I'm so happy to highlight your story, just like we were very happy to highlight M's story several weeks back, because I think people need to realize the beautiful souls that are behind this beautiful movement. So I want to thank you for joining us this evening.
Well, it's a pleasure, and I thank you for the invite.
All right. So for those that don't know Theresa, let's start off this evening. Andrew usually starts by like, hey, give me your little biography. But tonight I get the pleasure of starting. I'm like, yo, Andrew, I'm going to start us off. I'm not going to ask you for a biography. I'm just going to ask, really quickly, if you had to describe the value that you provide to the universe in just a couple sentences, because I'm going to dive into the layers of your biography individually. What is it that you provide for value to the universe, to our viewers, for those that don't know you?
Wow. I've been working on unconditional love to be able to send that to everybody in the world. It doesn't matter if we've known each other forever or I just met you. Um, that's what I want to provide because it is something that I never had. So the more that I evolve into this spiritual journey and in my course in life, I realize that consciousness is unconditional love. So to get there, that's what I have to do. So that's what my goal is, to provide everybody that I meet is unconditional love.
That's amazing. Your value to the universe is unconditional love, and that is awesome. I mean, truly, again, highlighting and showcasing what's really important to everything involving their journey together, our time together. So Theresa, tell me, you've had quite the journey. It's been pretty pretty extensive. If you don't mind, just, I guess, tell our viewers kind of a little bit of where your journey started, because I know there was a moment within your life that that this all started at, and then we're going to kind of dive into what that evolved into a little bit. But
Okay.
yeah, tell us where it started. And I get the benefit tonight of knowing you very personally, through our time spent together. So these questions
Yeah.
will be very fun for our viewers to hear.
So it started in 2019 to get where I am now. It was my second round of cancer. It started coming back. I had 3 nodules in the pelvis, and I realized that I would have to go down that road again. And I was just like, that's not happening. I can't go through cancer again. Like it was just like it was not happening. So I figured a way to Well, somebody introduced me to a naturopath, and he worked solely on the nervous system, and he unblocked my nervous system, which helped enlighten me, which really helped release the nightmares, the subconscious brain fog that I had, the anger, the negativity, the hatred, the revenge, the want for revenge, the just all the negativity started to dissipate gradually. And he warned me, he said, like, you are gonna have to start dealing with what's gonna come. And once I started getting the nightmares, I I did like Harry Potter. Like everybody asks me, what does that mean? So in the movie, I think it's Dumbledore, he takes the little wand and he takes the memory and he puts it in a little
Yeah,
bowl. Well, I did that, but I sent it out to the universe. I was just like, I don't need this anymore. I don't want it in my head. I beg of you to take this from me.
wow,
I release it to you because I just can't deal with it anymore. I just can't. Because if I continue keeping this in my head, I'm just going to go back to where I was, and it's not something I really wanted to do. So I released it to the universe, and from that day moving forward, I had not had another nightmare ever. Like
amazing.
it never came back. So then I started meditation. I started finding ways to heal. I started finding ways to just move forward without looking at my past. So by doing that, I went on a healing journey for a year and a half. I traveled Costa Rica, Colombia, Mexico, doing ayahuasca, bufo, anything that I can find. I had mentors, I had coaches. I think I spent about 40 grand just on coaches and healing
Wow.
modalities, not even counting the trips, the Airbnbs. Like that was totally
Investing
separate.
in
But
yourself, huh? Geesh, what an
yeah,
amount.
it was, yeah. So that's how it got me here today.
Yeah, and I think it's important to note that, like, you know, you saw that you wanted change, and then you got after it in the most intense way, that somebody could get after it. I mean, hearing about a lot of people, they get struck with the fact that they've got cancer for a second time. And they're coming out of, a phase in your life, which I'm sure you'll highlight at some point in tonight when we're talking about your foundation. But like to be able to actually take action in time like that. What did it, what was it? Do you remember specifically what was it that was like, you know what, I can't, because some people would just curl up in the corner. What was it that set that spark on fire inside of you to be like, I'm getting after it. I'm going to take action. I'm going to travel the world, go on this journey and do what you got to do.
I was disappointed in myself
Mm,
that I didn't learn the lesson the first time.
yeah.
I couldn't believe that I was there again. Like
Mm,
what did I miss the first time to bring me back to this second round?
yeah.
So I have I had spent a lot of years struggling with that question of why everything in my life lasted so long, and it's because I didn't learn the lesson the first time. I'm pretty pig-headed when it comes to certain things. It takes me a while
Yeah.
sometimes. We just keep revisiting these things, keep just popping back into our life, and we keep saying, like, what? Why? And it's because we don't learn the lesson. And it's going to
Mm,
keep coming back until you learn the lesson. And that's what clicked. I needed to learn the lesson in the situation. What was the lesson that I needed to learn? Learn the lesson, let it go, move on.
wow.
That was it.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, right? You like, here I am again. No, no, thank you. Get me out. And you did. And look at you thriving now. Such a
Yeah.
great Uh, so, Theresa, one of the biggest things that I know, that's near and dear to your heart is your foundation. If you lovely, foundation, if you would be so nice to us to describe what your foundation is, what its vision is, what its mission is, because I think that the guests tonight need to hear it because it's just a beautiful thing.
Thank you. My foundation is to help women who have lived through domestic violence. Once they leave the shelter, well, once they arrive at the shelter, they have nothing. They normally have the clothes on their back, and that's pretty much it. No money in the bank account, no investments, no car, no nothing, because they have been stripped of everything during their relationship. So I realized that I I needed to create this foundation to be able to help them after they leave the shelter. And I
Mm,
say after they leave the shelter because there are many women who are in the shelters who get text or calls by their exes pleading them to come back, apologizing, and saying that they'll never do anything again and blah blah blah, and some women go back.
wow.
So I want to make sure that if you're in the shelter, you're leaving the shelter, you're not going back. So there's always a process when you're in a shelter. You have to speak with a therapist, you have to do certain things. Like there's a regimen that you follow. So once you leave the shelter, you're able to basically they say live on your own, which is so not true because you don't have all the tools that you need. So my goal in this foundation is to help them have the tools. So my mission is to bring them on shopping sprees, um, teach them how to heal themselves, give them a structure, like put them in like a little bubble for a 3 month period.
Mm,
So I want to be able to pay their rent for 3 months. I want to be able to feed them for 3 months. I want to be able to teach them how to heal, help their children heal, teach them how to defend themselves. I want to be able to teach them just like how to just be.
mm.
Meditation if they want. Like, I'm not going to be forcing anybody, but I
Yeah,
would
something
like
tailored
them
to
to,
them, I would imagine, right?
yes, because not everybody's the same and not
Mm,
everybody lives through the same type of abuse. There are so many different types of abuse. I lived them all in one relationship, but some people it's just verbal, some people it's financial, some people it's emotional, some people it's physical, some people it's, so just tailor it to them and then teach them how to invest, teach them how to take care of themselves, how to um, take care of their finances, pay the bills on time, and just see what they love. Give them time to heal and find themselves.
mm.
3 months might not be enough, but that's where I would like to start, and we'll see how it
Good
goes
start.
because this is an experiment. This is a work in progress. Nothing's written in stone.
Yeah, absolutely, and I've seen it evolve, since meeting you and hearing that you wanted to start it, and then through the, paperwork stages and through the, then website, and everything it's just a beautiful, beautiful foundation. Now, this comes from a place in your heart, of giving something to these women. And, there's an overlaying theme of giving, that we've heard from you tonight, from our viewers, as well as, that I've seen. When do you remember, at like what age do you remember, what time in your life do you remember uh, enjoying to give so much? And even you give the love, to the people that you encounter in the universe. That's what you give back to it. What is this method of giving, and where did it come from?
I think, wow, that's a really good question. I've always been there for people. They needed to talk, I was there. I've been a sympathetic ear since I've been a kid. Like, I always love to help people. My mother's like that as well. She's very helpful. She's involved in the community. She's been doing that for my whole life. So I kind of think it stems from there. My grandfather as well was a giving person. So I think, it's instilled in us
Mhm.
as a family. And I love like I went and brought groceries to the shelter that I went to when I left,
Wow.
and it was the most amazing feeling in the world. Like, I can't even describe the feeling that I had. It was just like I felt like I was consciousness. I don't know how to explain it besides that. There was beautiful light around me. They were so grateful, and I didn't even in my head give that much, but for them, it was fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, which they normally don't get. It's more normally leftovers and close to rotting food
Mm,
because people just give when they can't sell it anymore. So
yeah.
that's what they're used to getting. So I wanted them to get fresh things, something that could last like over a week or
Mm.
close to a week at least, because we all know fruit and vegetables don't last that long, but as
Yeah.
long as they can.
As long as they can hold up. That's
Yeah.
awesome. Yeah. It seems like giving is just instilled in you. And that's such an amazing, just I've seen it since day one, and it's very much a characteristic of who you are. And that's an amazing thing.
Thank you.
Now, Theresa, you've gone through so many different like journeys between like starting your foundation, between beating cancer twice, and you've gone through a lot of personal and like spiritual, journeys as well. What would you say is like the, out of all of your spiritual journey of kind of like evolving into the person that you are today, what would you say is like a pinnacle moment that sticks out within that journey that, what helped you the most? Was it meditation? Was it, ayahuasca? Was it, certain, routines that you developed for yourself? Like, what was it that kind of like, really did, lay a good foundation for you?
I think the start of trying to love myself
Mm.
was probably the realization that I needed to love myself because I never have. And then ayahuasca because Mother Ayahuasca showed me a door and I wasn't ready for it. I was spooked and I said no, but thank you anyway. I'll be back. And then I did Bufo, and Bufo is that was the pinnacle, I think. That was the one that was just like I became everything and nothing at the same time.
Yeah.
And I realized at that point that we are all one. And I need to remember that feeling. And I need to be that feeling like all the time, no matter how somebody might be negative or might get under my skin for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Why is this person getting under my skin? Well, I need to figure it out. What is he showing me she's showing me that's bothering me? Because we're all mirrors. So why is that person bugging me? And I need to figure it out internally. Once I figure that out, then it's just like, and those are, so yeah, so that's basically why, yeah.
Yeah,
Sorry, I kind of
between
like lost track there for a
ayahuasca,
second.
no, between ayahuasca and, loving yourself, that'll definitely do
Yeah.
it. I think, for those that don't know what, Bufu is, uh, you know, would you
Bufo is a frog venom. So there's two steps to it. They burn you with a little wooden stick, I guess you could say. They put the frog venom on you and then you purge. So it's like a detox. You're detoxing your body, removing all the toxins that you have, and you just purge for. They try to do it like 3 times just to make sure that you're completely clear. Once you're the water that you purge is clear, like crystal clear, then you can do the bufo, which is smoking. So they put it on a piece of paper, you smoke it, you inhale it, and then you obviously set an intention before you do this. You don't just
yeah.
go in there willy-nilly, because I've seen
You don't
someone
just, like,
who,
pull up on a Tuesday afternoon to a
no,
corner alley and
it's
yeah,
not a good idea because
not a
somebody
good
did
idea.
that in ayahuasca and he was lost.
Yeah.
It took him a long time to come back. So yeah, so that's what bufo is.
Yeah, no, what was the intention that you set going into your experience?
Which one? Both of them?
So you did.
Ayahuasca.
Well,
I
yeah, I guess why not?
Yeah,
Why not both of them? Yeah, what? It's because like I
yeah,
think that they're related, right? Because they're both elements
yes,
of DMT.
yeah,
So is there something that kind of transitions from the first to the second, or an intention
yes.
that changed and evolved? Yeah, let's see the dynamic there.
So the first one was because ayahuasca I did 2 days. The
Okay.
shaman didn't want me to do more than 2 days. He said, I'm not here to take your money. I'm here to help you heal. So the first intention was to remove the blocks that I had inside of me that were keeping me from moving forward in my life. The second day was to find my purpose. And they said that I need to work with energy.
Mm.
So, and then they showed me the door, which I wasn't ready for. So, working with energy, ended up going to Mexico. And I realized the other day, speaking with somebody, that I needed to go to Mexico to meet my teacher for the Reiki. So
Mm.
he opened the portal. Oh yeah, I was talking with Pierre. So he opened the portal, and then I connected with Source. So then I was ready to go to Bufo, and Bufo, my intention was to open that door, and I told them that I was ready to see what I was missing, and I was ready to accept what they wanted to show me.
Amazing. Yeah, I love how that transitions from one to the next.
Mhm.
Such a powerful thing. We've had a lot of conversations about uh, a, a certain disease that we share. It's called aphantasia, right? We can't see when we close our eyes and visualize images.
Mhm.
Why don't that's an interesting topic for a podcast show. Why don't you tell everybody kind of your experience? Because like, if somebody interviews me, Andrew, when you interview me next time or whatever, like ask me this question, because like, how do you, this is something I've recently discovered. I'm kind of curious of your perspective. Like, how do you feel as though having aphantasia changes or is different than the normal person's way of interpreting the world because of that challenge of not being able to visualize, right? And when you go on a spiritual journey, it's like, yeah, so I'd love to hear the context behind that.
It's I've realized that it's just knowing.
Hmm.
There you I don't need to see anything to know.
Yeah.
And at first it was just like, why does everybody get to see everything? I need to see something. I was just like so aggravated. And I was just like, "Ugh." And then when you told me that you didn't see anything, I'm like, oh, finally, I finally meet somebody who doesn't see like me. We're both blind to the world, so that's good.
Yes, yes.
But and for me, it's a knowing now. And during one of my experiences, a meditation experience, actually, and I haven't done DMT since Costa Rica when I did the Bufo, and I have a lot of I do meditations every day, and I do some in groups because I find that they're a little bit stronger when we do them more than one at a time,
Mhm.
and when I do them by myself, sorry. So but the last time that I did one of the times that I did a meditation, I asked, "Why? Why can't I see anything? Why? What's why?" And I was told that I don't need to see it because everything is a knowing. So you're not experiencing that because you need to understand that you already know what it looks like. You already know what it feels like. You now have to believe that you know and
Yeah,
not question your knowing.
a sense of knowing. Yeah, I think that's very interesting because like at the end of the day, it's how do you feel, right? And if it's almost weird. It's almost like our I can kind of relate to that. I'm going to elaborate a little bit. It's almost like the feeling and knowing elements are enhanced because of the lack of the visualization.
Yeah.
Like that, like actually physically being able to feel as if though you already have something, or because that's what visualization is, right? It's like projecting an image within your brain of something that so that you're visualizing like you have it. Well, you can also feel as though you have it, on a whole level. Feel is not just a word to like hold this, like
No.
feel has layers. And I think that that's what I've noticed in the aphantasia world is that we can feel those layers, whether it's emotion, whether like so feeling in certain categories such as emotion. Have you found that these categories also are different layered sort of entities, if you will, or sectors of our existence?
And that was a challenge for me
Yeah.
because I didn't know emotions. I had one emotion 90% of my life so far, and it was sadness.
Yeah.
So you asked me what joy is. I didn't really know. You asked me what happiness is, or gratitude, or love, or I didn't know any of these things. Most of my life was sadness, even though I do have children, and I gave birth to two boys, and they're beautiful and they're amazing. I was still sad because I was bringing them into an unhealthy world. So, like, even though I felt emotion, I was crying, I was kind of happy, but I was mostly sad because of what I was doing. by bringing into a world of sadness. So finding those layers have been very challenging for me, and I'm only now, just recently, I'm going to say the last 6 months or so, have been able to tap in different positive emotions. Even though I did the whole bufo, even though I did the ayahuasca, these are all things that helped me evolve to get to be able to start understanding that my knowing and that my emotions, that my knowing will give me the emotions, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Now, we you know, we see through this journey that you have chosen to kind of not only heal yourself along this journey to get out of and escape, your past, and move onwards, I should say, not even escape, but move on. But it's also led you to have such passion behind the vision of your foundation. And it's also led you on a path, I think, kind of like parallel, if I had to, just again through our interactions of like you're constantly growing personally as well as with your foundation. You pay equal attention,
Yeah,
I would say to both buckets. Those would you say those are your two passion buckets of life there?
that they have to be, because they do walk hand in hand.
Yeah.
Because as I evolve, so does my foundation. As I grow, so does my foundation, because it is my baby now.
Yeah.
Like it is who I am, and whatever I can, however I grow will be a way that I will be able to help somebody else grow. And this is not for money. This is because none of the money that I'm going to be receiving from donations or from people or from whatever, this is going like 100% to them. I
Yeah.
already have my passive income that I'm working with, that I won't need, and I don't need donation money to live. It's going to be 100% for the foundation, because they need it more than I do. And I want to be able to buy buildings to let them live for 3 or 4 months. I don't know, like whatever it takes. But I know that we do walk hand in hand, because I know the more I grow, the more beautiful the foundation is going to be, and the more people I'll be able to help.
Absolutely. And I think that what's really cool is that, that's one of the beautiful things, that there's so much synergy between MI5 and your foundation is we give, you know, everything to creating a space that's thriving and for the people, and for the people within that community, and for the people that are, moving through that. And that's not always the case, a lot of times, people have these foundations, and there's even corruption, obviously, in some of the higher elite level ones, that take a lot of money and really big salaries. But, to be able to literally say, like, yep, every single penny of my foundation, for my foundation is going towards my foundation, because you've got yourself covered through passive income. You're using the MI5 buzzwords in here tonight. That's such important element of kind of like, you know, building a business that actually is your purpose. And that's one of the cool things, is you actually get to live your purpose through doing this. And that's a beautiful thing. Is to be able to, spend that time living your purpose. Now, with that, I wanted to ask you, um, what do you think, um, is some exciting stuff that's going on currently within your foundation that is uh, relevant for our guests and our viewers to hear, in terms of how they can soon get involved, or, things of that nature. Like, let us know what's going on, just to kind of give us a peek behind the curtain.
Well, right now I'm looking. Well, I finally finished the website, so now I'm looking for a bank in the U.S. so that I can receive donations, because I was wanting to work through PayPal. PayPal has a lot of fees, so I was just going through like Stripe, but I need a foundation, because my foundation is based in the U.S. even though I'm from Canada, because in my province they said that there's too many domestic violence foundations, so I wasn't allowed to open another one. So I
Uh,
went to the States, and that just goes to show you how much messed up Quebec is, just saying.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
an
no,
issue.
it's wild up there, I've heard.
Uh, we have 84 shelters, and they're all full.
Oh, wow. That's a massive amount of women.
That's a lot. And
Yeah,
there's like 24 women per shelter, give or
that's
take.
and that's just in your area.
That's in the province of
Okay.
where I live. In my province,
Yeah.
there's 84 shelters and there's about 25 women and children per shelter.
Wow. That's
So
insane.
it's a little scary.
Yeah, no, that sounds like, quite the quite the volume there. So, I think,
Yeah.
we're gonna be cutting to a commercial. We actually have a commercial tonight, guys. It's actually pretty fun. Mr. Andrew Golden has created a Grand Rising Financial commercial for those of you that know it's our funding brokerage. So, if you ever wanna advertise with MI5, we may have availability in the future, but for tonight, we get to cut to a commercial, and when we get back, Mr. Andrew Golden will dive deeper into your foundation, and where you guys are and where you're going and all that good stuff. So, hey, cut it away, Andrew. I'm excited to see this bad Larry. Let's all watch it together. Grab your popcorn.
At Grand Rising Financial, we can help brand new or existing businesses secure funding through various funding solutions. Our primary means of funding is 0% interest credit stacking, where we can secure $50,000 to $250,000 at 0% interest for 6 to 24 months. We also offer personal and business term loans as well as 0% interest personal credit stacks. We are so confident in our work that we are a performance-based company, and we only charge on the back end after we have secured your funding. It is no secret that in 2023, the state of the current economy is looking rough, but we are here to help. Whether you are trying to create a better life for you and your family, or simply trying to grow and scale your business, at Grand Rising Financial, we not only help you obtain funding, but we consider ourselves leaders in financial education so that we can equip you with the tools to build a life that you can be proud of. We help entrepreneurs, business owners, and visionaries with a handful of funding and credit building services. For more information and to book a free consultation, please reach out to us at grandrisingfinancial.com or send us a message on Facebook at Grand Rising Financial to learn more and speak with a member of our team. Let Grand Rising Financial help you fund your dreams. Oh yeah.
Can
That
I
was
come
nice
in
to
really
watch again.
quickly and say that was sexy?
Sexy as hell, bro.
Goodness, guys.
Yeah.
Woo!
Super fire, man.
Oh, Warner Brothers, dude, that was fire. All right,
For real.
you guys can get back to it.
Does somebody have the fire extinguisher? Because like it's heating up in here for real. Whew. Yeah, that guy on the voiceover right there, you can hire him. It's pretty good.
Right?
Absolutely.
100%. 100%. My rates are high though. I know my worth. Anyways, yeah, that was a very highly vibrational first half of the show. Thank you, Brian, for adding your touch as usual. I loved the way that you switched it up there. And dove deeper on who the heck is Theresa. Because I've known you for a while now, since almost literally it's
Almost
about
a
to
year.
be actually it's almost probably actually exactly a year, because the official
Oh, that's
anniversary
true.
for MI5 is April 15th. I'm so freaking excited. Brian, we've got to see if we're doing a show or anything that day so we can celebrate. But anyways, it's been a long time, and I've always known you as a very spiritual person. And one of the things that came up to my mind while I was listening to you and Brian have your conversation is like, when as people go through, learning about spirituality and fully accepting that we are spiritual beings and learning how to align with that, you're not just born knowing that in most cases. And so I'm curious to know, you had such a you had a journey where a lot of deep introspection had to happen for you to get from where you were to where you are now. And I know that spirituality probably had a large part to play into that. So what did it look like for you discovering and fully accepting your spirituality and really embracing that and making that a huge part of who you are?
That was a struggle at the beginning. I was just I it was hard to understand because when I was going through my difficult life, I was just like, there better be something up there. If there isn't, like, someone's gonna hear me roar. Like, I'm gonna be like super upset because there's no way I'm going through all this crap for nothing. Like, there's gotta be an end, a reason for all of this. And my mother kept telling me, "Oh, everything happens for a reason." I'm like, if you tell me that one more time, I swear to God, I'm gonna throw you out the window. Like,
Yeah.
don't ever say that to me again. But then when I started literally going within, because that's what spirituality is. It's literally looking inside of your soul and seeing what the hell is going on. Who
Yes.
are you deep down? And for me, that was ugly. I was ugly. I was an ugly person. I was a mean person. I was a negative person because of everything that I always blamed. I was a victim. Like, we're not going to lie. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. I was a big ass victim. I'm sorry for my language, but it was ugly. And I needed to change it. So I needed to remove the layers. I had to go to, why was this still bothering me? Why did I hang on to this? Why? And then just forgive. It was all about forgiveness, no matter how ugly it was, because I knew that if I didn't forgive myself for the things that I'd lived through, the things that I accepted, because it's not things that were, it's not just because things are done to you that you get to be a schmuck. Like,
Hmm.
it's not, it's how you live through the experience and how you get through it and how you heal from it. That's the lesson, basically. So it was challenging.
Yeah. So you say that forgiveness was a huge part of that, but
Yeah.
it's not as easy as it's harder than it is just, you can say that you forgive someone, but it's not always just as easy as saying it.
Yeah.
How what are some of the ways that you learned along the way, like of how to actually, you know, fully engage in forgiving someone or something, or maybe even yourself, if you have any tips for that?
It's like an onion. So there's multiple
Mhm.
layers to each situation. You might think that you healed from it, and then next week something just smacks you in the face, and you're just like, "What the hell? I was just there like last week. Why am I still in this?" Holding yourself and just trying to find the best words to explain it. Because for me, the all the trauma that I lived through, I was just like, it's pure love, basically, for me. That is really what helped, because no matter how ugly it got, or it was, or whatever I experienced, I had to love myself. And loving myself, each layer, and forgiving myself for what happened, for accepting it, one, for not saying anything, two, for not, leaving, or, you know, there's so many levels to each situation, but you have to literally go within and just, you can do the inner child work, you can do the shadow work, and it's just like holding yourself in that moment, feeling the emotion, crying it out, screaming it out. I was in Costa Rica. I went to on a hike. I think I screamed for like an hour. I was just screaming because it was such a bad feeling that I was living in that moment, and I was so angry at that memory that I just had to scream it out. People thought I was like losing. It's a good thing there's not many people on that hike at that time because they would have
Right.
questioned my sanity. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's what you need to do, because energy is stuck in your body. When you don't let that energy flow, it's gonna make a disease in your body. That's what caused my cancer. It was many stuck
Mm.
emotions in my body. I created that cancer. It's not in my genes, it's not in my DNA. I created it because I kept everything inside, my hatred, my anger, my resentment, my sadness, everything. So by going within, it's really the best way to just like go through the layers. And you might be disappointed that next week it seems like the same thing that you're living through, but it's not, because you released one of those layers. And layers are thin, and they're multiple. So just
Oh yeah.
realize that it's a process, and don't be upset with yourself. Don't be angry that you're reliving well, you think you're reliving something, but you're technically not. It's another layer. So just
One
relive it and let it
thousand,
go.
1000%. One of the things that I've learned along the journey is that the universe doesn't register things as good or bad. It simply recognizes what is, right? And so, you know, one way to really articulate that idea into, why somebody might contract these diseases out of nowhere is energy flows where attention goes. If you're thinking about all this negativity and fully embracing that, and that's becoming you, that's what that's where the energy is going to flow, and that's what it's going to manifest into your physical reality, which, when people realize that and fully embrace that. And I'm constantly peeling back layers. Like, literally, I was just on the phone with Brian. Like, last week, I was so blissful in love, and like I was like literally fully embraced in, me being the, having everything within myself. And then a bunch of external things happened in my life that were negative, that brought me back down to like the base layer of, dang, I'm in this situation right now, you know? And I just completely, it's like I didn't even experience all the love. It was like I was reset. It's like the layers like went back up on the onion,
Do you know why?
um, enlighten me.
Most of the time, it's because the universe is actually testing you.
I feel
Because
like,
you're on this, you're up here and you want to stay there. But the universe is just like, are you sure you want to stay there? How about we give you a little bit of what you're used to? Your ego as well plays
yeah.
a lot. Like the ego does not like change. So it's going to try and bring you back emotions that you're used to. But are you willing to push through that emotion and get that energy right back? Because
Mm,
that's something that I've been working on a lot. Like I had my niece call me, and now we're not talking anymore because she just like lost it on me, and I'm like, what is wrong with you? And
wow.
she's like, oh, you, because my, just to give you a little bit of context, my son's grandmother died on my, so their father's mother passed away, and my children don't talk to them on that side of the family anymore. Like they've resigned that side of the family. It has nothing to do with me. I didn't do anything, just saying. So she called me, she's upset. How did the kids take the passing of their grandmother? And I'm like, well, I don't know. I'm like, one doesn't never talk hasn't talked to her anymore, and the other one like doesn't talk to me at all, so like I don't know. And then she just like blew up. And then I started feeling this rage inside of me. And I'm like, no, 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 no. I just closed my eyes. I came back to my love and my unconditional love. And I was just sending her love. And I'm like, listen, I'm like, has nothing to do with me. I'm sorry you feel the way that you do. Like, you can yell at me all you want, but I ain't going to change anything. And I just can't talk to you right now. And if you feel like we should end this relationship, then we're going to end it because I can't do this anymore. So I just sent her love. I calmed myself. I went back into my heart. I made sure that my heart energy went really, really big, and I stayed there until I felt that I was okay to go on and do something else. But I had to like stay in that love energy as long as I could, because the ego is just like, no, no, you like this negative sadness and disgusting emotion. Let's just give you a little bit. No, I'm like, no, I'm good. I'm gonna stay in my unconditional love. Thank you very much. So
100%. And,
it's a
and
little
that's,
trick.
yeah, 100. And that is very insightful. One thing that we have to learn on this journey of spirituality is that loving everybody because they're beautiful. And if they're not beautiful, that in hopes that they will be beautiful. And like, that's literally it, unconditionally. Just like you said in the beginning, unconditional love is the value that you provide. And that is extremely difficult for a lot of people, even some people who are, pretty enlightened, whatever that means. Um, and what you said about the being tested by the universe, I genuinely don't think that I've gone through the healing necessary, because I have the knowledge. I've learned so much about what is necessary, but there's almost undoubtedly energetic blocks, probably from, my childhood still, because like I haven't purposefully gone through those experiences. And it's funny because a lot of people can think that the journey of healing is like, yeah, meditation and manifesting and affirmations. But really, the journey of healing can actually more so reflect the experience of a little kid going on their first roller coaster and it's like, what the heck is going on? Like freaking out and screaming and crying and like,
It's pretty
just
much
like
it.
you
Yeah.
said. Yeah, it's like, healing is actually it's actually a very emotional and, of emotional release, and
Yeah.
one thing that I always like to explain to people is that emotion, it's emotion, energy in motion. You're like, you have to get it out of you physically,
Yeah.
literally. Yeah. So it's a wild journey. So I'm curious to know, what's one of the things that you've learned recently about yourself and about your, one of the things that's come up to surface level on your journey that you'd be willing to share with everyone, something that's like more recent.
I was finally able to be okay with money.
Mm,
That was always my struggle. Money, my mother never had any money. Like, she lived paycheck to paycheck almost. I had hand-me-down clothes for as long as I could remember. Like, my sister's 2.5 years older than me, and when you go to high school and you're wearing someone's clothes that they were wearing in elementary school, I can tell you that it's not fun. Like, it's
yeah.
literally not fun. So that is something that I really struggled with, was money. I never felt like I had enough. Like, the father of my kids was a drug addict and he used to take my money. He never worked. He like all the money that I've ever made disappeared so fast that I couldn't even see it. And then I was living on my own, and then I had no money for me because I have two teenagers that I have to feed and I have to pay rent, and they were playing hockey and I wanted to make sure they were happy. So I had no money then. And then, when I was building a house, so everything that I had, the money just like, it was just like always a money thing.
Mm-hmm.
And then 3 weeks ago, maybe I think it was about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I sat with myself and I did a meditation, and no music, no nothing. I just sat and kept repeating the word money. How do I feel about money? Where am I going with money? What is money providing me? And I was just like, I was so uncomfortable. I couldn't stop jittering. Like, I was moving through the whole meditation. I'm like, no, stop. I'm like, just sit with this. Scream it out if you have to. And I kept repeating, money, money, money. And I was just like, it's a good thing nobody was around me
Was it
because I
out
would have thought I
loud?
was crazy. Yes.
Okay.
I had to say it out loud
Yeah.
because even if I say it in my head, that goes nowhere. For
Yeah.
me anyway. Everything's emotion and movement. So I was just like, money, money, money. And I was just like, okay, how do I feel right now? Am I feeling happier? Am I feeling sad? I'm like, and then every time I would feel sad, then it's because I got a thought about a situation in regards to money. I'm like, okay, dealing with the money, with that emotion right now, feeling it, forgiving myself. I do the hope and oh no, however you say that stupid thing. Sorry, I never remember.
I
I
don't
don't even
even I
know.
don't even know.
Don't even know if I say it right. It's thank you. Please for thank no, I love you. Thank you. Please forgive me. Something. I love you. Anyway, it's one of those things. So I repeated it. I repeated it. Don't know if I said it right. Didn't care. I was just like, I love you for everything that you provided for me. And then I was emotional, and then I felt nauseous, and then I felt calm, and and I was okay. So, things that I need to go through, and I will do it again, and I did it the other day just to see if I was still okay, and I was somewhat okay, so I just did it again because we all know it's layers. So I
Mhm.
did it again, and I was okay. And then sometimes I just chime in every now and then just to see how I'm doing, if I need to do a refresh or whatever. But yeah, that used to be my biggest Achilles heel, I guess you could say.
100, yeah. Wow, that's really that message speaks to me a lot, especially with where I'm at in life right now. You know, it's not always as simple as saying like feeling the abundance and the appreciation for money isn't always as easy as saying we're abundantly provided for and just being like, yes, like I feel it, it's coming, like it's awesome. You know, all the money's coming to me, I have it within me. And like that's kind of like how I thought it was. And I felt guilty almost when I didn't feel love when those words were being said. And like, wow, that I'm gonna do that money meditation. I'm doing that 100%. I need to get it out because like I learned from somebody recently. It was actually Dispenza. It was like I was listening to a podcast
Yeah,
or whatever with him on it.
he's good.
Yeah, really good. He was talking about even if you have just $1 in your bank account, literally say thank you. Like I love you. Thank you for I have money in the bank. This is awesome. You know? And at that point, it's not about the amount, it's about it is present, you know, the presence
Yeah.
of it is even awesome, you know? And just what you said also is such a good addition to that of thank you for everything you've done in my life, you know, truly expressing the gratitude that is within, you know, and sometimes it's um hard to give that and receive it in return and like actually feel what you're supposed to feel like when you do that. But yeah,
That that's exactly it. And now I'm working on receiving
mhm,
because, I was just like, why don't I receive money? Why am I struggling to receive donations? Why am I struggling for this and that? Anything has to do with like receiving love, like just receiving. I always didn't want anything. I never wanted anything for me. I wanted it for my kids. I wanted it for everybody else because,
mhm,
I love everybody. But now I have to receive. I have to learn to receive and accept what people give me and what people will be giving me. I have to be able to receive it. If I can't receive it, then it ain't going to come.
1000%. I'm actually like bringing up this quote right now and it says operate from anticipation, not desperation. I feel like that's what a lot of people go through when they're like, I don't even like necessarily using the word manifesting or manifestation because it's such a buzzword, you know? But like
Mhm.
it is what it is, you know, and I feel like when people are manifesting something, like they're doing it out of desperation, like I need money. Like I need money because and that's like literally projecting, I don't have money. Where it at, homie? You know? Like literally like
Uh-huh.
where's the money at? Where give me my money for real. So yeah, but you know, away from that was an incredible journey into the spiritual side of things. But I'm very curious to know. I kind of already know the answer, but I'm very curious to know what is your favorite place in the world to travel to, and where is your next travel location that you're excited about?
Oh, wow. That's so hard because I love every place that I traveled to for different reasons.
Yeah.
Costa Rica, because it's beautiful, it's hot, it's amazing. The vegetation, the wildlife are just like insane. Colombia, love Colombia. The people there are just magical. Cartagena is one of my favorite places in the world so far because that's where I learned my Spanish. That is where I learned more about me. That's where I was able to just be without. Medellin is also amazing. Mexico, for the people as well, they're just like amazingly beautiful, humble, and always willing to help. And beaches are just insane in Mexico. Where's my next travel destination where I really want to go? Peru. There's many, unfortunately. Peru,
Yeah.
Egypt, India, and Spain. Those are my
Mm,
next destinations. Which one will happen first? I don't know because now new things have happened in my life and I'm going to be a grandmother. So, like
that's
that, I'm
right.
going to be back home a little bit more often than expected. So my vacations or my traveling are going to be shortened, where I used to like going for like months on end. Now it's going to be like, okay, I'm going to go for a few months because I want to
Yeah,
come. I'm going to want to come back to my grandson. So, we're going to see how that goes. But my next destination, I really would like it to be Peru or Egypt.
that would be cool. That'd be
Yeah,
cool. So now I totally forgot. You said you're gonna be a grandmother. How does that make you feel?
I feel blessed. I really do. Um, because with the knowledge that I have now, this child is going to be able to be like, even though my son and his girlfriend like are really amazing people, they're going to just let me bring in that spiritual side of him. So that, because now of my new understanding, like she even said, and like as soon as I found out that she was pregnant, I'm like, it's a boy. And she's like, what are you talking about? I knew right away because I had a vision in 2020, and she was there, and I didn't understand why he was with a blonde person because his girlfriend at the time was a brunette. So I was just so confused, and I'm like, who is this person?
Mhm.
And so I saw a little boy and a little girl. So we'll see if I'm right. But the little boy was running around, and so yeah. So she said, we would like this house. Can you do me a favor and just like visualize it for me, please? Because we really want this house.
Yeah, yeah.
So I'm excited. It's gonna be fun.
I'm excited for you. That's gonna be awesome. I can't wait to see the pictures and all the videos of little children. It's amazing.
It's gonna be fun.
So yeah, so you're on such a meaningful mission with your foundation, and I'm really excited to see the future of it. I literally just saw the website for the first time today, and I was like, "Yo, this is awesome!" Like I was reading everything, and I really got to feel and see the full scope of what you're trying to do because I've known, your core mission before, but like seeing the whole spectrum of everything that you're trying to do, like the core values of everything, that was awesome, and, I don't know why I didn't see that before, but, where do you see yourself and the foundation in, like, 5 years? This is MI5, so we can keep the theme going with that, but where do you see yourself in 5 years with the foundation? What does the future look like for Theresa and Just Rice?
The foundation will be in at least 3 different countries, if not 4, because now I have people on the ground, if you want to call it that, in Costa Rica and Colombia that are willing to help women in their area. I have a really good friend in Costa Rica, Lily, and she's going to be taking on the Costa Rica side. So my goal is to be able to be in those places, have buildings, at least one in each country. I would like apartment buildings, one in each country, so we can have at least 6 women on a 3-month basis being helped and just going on shopping sprees. Just being able to do that with a woman and seeing the excitement and being able to say, just go crazy. I really don't
Mhm.
care like how
Yeah.
much it costs. Just be happy and enjoy that emotion. So being able to do that in like 3 different countries would be like a blessed thing. That's really where I would like to be in like 5 years. That's my goal.
That's incredible. Yeah, being able to give people the gift of going into shops without feeling the lack of, being able to get what you want, you know? And I hypnotized myself yesterday, actually, I, like, purposefully. I went to the most expensive stores I could find and, like, just like, I posted about this on social media. I went to the most expensive stores I could find. I found the Gucci store. I, like, came up to the salesman, and I was like, "Hey, what's up? My name's Andrew. Nice to meet you. What's your name?" And like, I was like, "Hey, I want to ask you some questions about the shoes over here," like asking him questions. And he gave me his number because he's like, "Hey, yeah, like if you want to come here with your friends, there's this thing called brunch with Gucci," all this stuff, going into like every jewelry store because they're usually dead and just trying stuff on, and really believing, like feeling like I can afford all this. This is fine. Like, like this is all within my scope of possibility and really bringing that into reality, but also making the salespeople believe that too.
Mhm.
That's like super important. It was super powerful. Like it was literally like a real life situation of like, yeah, this guy's just shopping. He's not making a purchase today. I set the stage. I was like, I'm not making a purchase. I don't want to waste your time, but I will be making purchases here soon. And I want to know what I want to get. So I want to just look at stuff. They're like, yeah, of course. They wouldn't let me try on anything I wanted, like putting on the chains for me and stuff. It's dope. So,
It's a beautiful feeling.
oh yeah. But like, that's the next level though. Actually
Yeah.
buying the stuff. 100%. Yeah, I can't wait. I am fully confident. I know that we are still going to be on this journey together in 5 years, which is so cool. At that point, we'll definitely have met in person a couple times, and it's
Yes.
going to be super freaking awesome to be a part of that. And I honestly, now that we're having this conversation, I need to get my mom involved because like she went through a domestic violence relationship that was like literally my childhood, and I feel like she would resonate very heavily with this with your message. So
That would be
yeah,
awesome. I'd love to meet her.
yeah. And she's very spiritual, but not on the same plane, I guess, because it's like Christianity, but she's still like, whenever we start talking about, this is one connection I've made recently. I've never been able to make it with my parents before. I've never been able to go this deep in our relationship, is connecting spiritually, because I'm framing it as God. I'm framing it as like, the God that they know and love and feel all the time, when I'm thinking the universe, but really it is God. It's God, universe, source, whatever. And so like literally being able to have these deep conversations about that, and they like know what I'm talking about because I'm just framing it differently, is like,
Mhm.
it's so cool. I'm realizing like they know a lot about this stuff. They know a lot. They're spiritually in tune with God. So it's cool. Now it's time for the fun questions. What if me and Brian drop $10 million in your bank account tomorrow and you have to spend it, what are you gonna do with it? You have to
Oh,
spend it.
that's easy. That's easy. Um, First of all, I do my, infinite banking. That's gonna be done. I'm gonna
Mhm.
have at least, 500,000 in there. I'm gonna be putting, investments in 2 or 3 other different places that I already have and know of. I will be buying buildings for women for domestic violence in at least 4 different countries, if not 5. At least I'll have some apartment buildings, furnish them, everything. I will go to different shelters and pay for the electricity for like a year, make sure that they have a credit card that will give them food for like a year. Um, I will make sure that they have all new furnishings, whatever that they need, whatever they're missing. Is there anything else? I would definitely go on a few trips, buy my tickets for a few trips, make sure that they're spread out so that I can like have time to go visit them. I would do an infinite banking for my grandson, for my son, for my sister, for my kids because I have 4, so for all of them, plus my sister, my mom.
It's like, you get infinite banking. You get infinite banking.
Oh, trust me,
Everybody gets infinite
everybody
banking.
everybody would have it and they could do whatever they want with it, get them cars. I don't care. Like
Hell yeah.
my goal is to give and to make sure that they're bountiful. My mother deserves the world and I'm trying to get there. So as long as I can make sure that she's financially free and she doesn't have to think about a penny ever again, that would be my first goal, is to make sure that she's good and then the rest would come.
Hell yeah. Well, just, make sure you write this down just in case it ever happens, like we're
Oh,
abundantly
it's
provided for.
down.
So
Now I have to add the infinite banking there, but the rest is already there.
yeah,
But yeah, that
100%.
I'll add to it.
Yeah, you don't even need to say the infinite banking. We already know.
Yeah.
That one's a no-brainer for sure. Yeah, and I'm really curious to know, if you could be any part on a bicycle, what would you be and why?
I knew you were gonna ask this question.
Yeah, we have to.
A lot of people say the gears, whatever. Me, it would probably be the basket. The basket, because it's the only way that I can carry everything that I want to be able to give to the people that I meet, that I in the street, they're missing something, I can give them a fruit. If they're missing
Mm,
$10, I can give them the basket is the only place that holds everything that I need to be able to give to others. So, the
freaking love
basket.
that. What a unique answer. I love that so much. Okay, and then I'm adding one to the mix
Okay.
because now I'm the back end interviewer. If you could only eat one food for the rest of your life, one food. It can be something that could be made in different ways, but one food, what would it be?
Probably sweet potatoes. I love sweet potatoes.
Sweet
Like,
potatoes are fire.
oh my god, love sweet potatoes. So that would probably that or strawberries. That
Mm,
that would be my love strawberries too.
yeah, and we'll
Just
just
very
say
simple.
that for this example, you are now in a universe where your one food has all the nutrients and macronutrients and micronutrients that you need to survive optimally. Like you don't
Probably
have to worry
strawberries
about
then.
that. Strawberries? Oh yeah.
Probably strawberries then.
Awesome. Yeah. I'll have to I have so many going through my brain. I have a couple of unhealthy choices, but we'll it's another conversation. But
Yeah, I'm more
anyway,
on the healthier side because
yeah,
chocolate too, because I'm a chocolate fanatic.
chocolate,
Fudge.
chocoholic. Right.
Yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah. All righty. Well, I'm gonna bring Brian on for our nightly weather review because, as everybody knows, I am the official weatherman of MI5. Of course,
Of
who
course.
other than myself?
But before you
And
go, let us just really quickly throw up a couple shout outs to Theresa
oh,
and
that's
her
right.
foundation and how you can
Oh.
stay in touch with her. So sorry to pause the weather
No, no,
alerts.
no. You're good.
Social media tags right there for you guys if you
Hell
want to
yeah.
follow Theresa. And we're going to put up her website up next and show, right there, the beautiful foundation that we got to hear about tonight. And over to you. What's the weather looking like this week?
Well, now that we're on this topic, also, if you're not a part of the MI5 movement, come
Ooh,
and join us. It's
yeah, come
completely
on
free.
down.
T.me/the MI5 movement. Come and hop in and share what you're grateful for. You already know. And also, you saw that commercial. It was pretty freaking sexy. Get funded with Grand Rising Financial at www.grandrisingfinancial.com. Let us fund your
Absolutely.
dreams. That's right. All right. Well, back to the weather, everybody. And just there's it's looking quite. Let me look at the window. Hold on. Oh yeah. Yeah, we're definitely on track for this one. Everybody, I need to remind you, just grab your umbrellas because it's looking pretty stormy out there because MI5 is taking 2023 by storm, baby. Let's go.
Woo!
All right, here you go, everybody. Grand